Thank you, Madam Speaker. The good news is that this new government has a tough on crime agenda. And what the Conservatives are good at is giving salacious speeches, but what they've been doing all along is obstructing any of our measures that we've put forward to be able to handle these types of issues. Madam Speaker, once again, I say we brought C2 back in June of last year, June of 2025. Had they passed that bill, those people that had claimed asylum in that Surrey case would not have been able to do so. But good news, Madam Speaker, because that bill was split and now is in the Senate. And retroactively, when passed, those cases will be ineligible and will get cancelled. So that is the good news. That's the work that we can do together when the Conservatives stop obstructing.
Very good. Well, member for Saskatoon West.
Madam Speaker, the bad news is that a significant minister of our country is very confused about her own legislation. It's C12 that is doing this, and we actually were very cooperative with the government on this bill. We wanted to see this pass. We supplied many good suggestions, many good amendments, some of which were adopted, but most weren't, as I described in my speech. This is what we've been doing to help this House to get good legislation passed so that we can protect Canadians from things like this. That's what we want to do, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Questions and comments. The Honourable Member for La Pointe-de-Lille. Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I said earlier, the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act already says that if an asylum seeker has committed an offence in Canada or abroad, well, they can be declared ineligible from staying in Canada. And if anyone who has a criminal record abroad were banned from Canada, what would we do with people like Raif Badawi, who were political prisoners?
For Saskatoon West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question. You know, there's lots of very specific cases that can be cited, and that's why we have the system that we do. We have to make sure, though, that we also are able to deal with those people who do commit serious crimes in our country. We need to have It needs to be very clear that this system cannot be abused. And that's what's happening today, is that people are taking a system that had very legitimate purposes and they're abusing it. And this government has done nothing to fix that. They have not even recognized it was a problem until very recently. They've allowed the queue to grow to 300,000 people, to 4 years' worth of work, before they finally decided to do something. That's why we need to fix this, and we need to make sure that this cannot be done again.
Honourable Member for Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Conservatives had two objectives when introducing amendments to Bill C-12. One was to truly fix Canada's broken asylum system, and the second was to strengthen Canada's border security. Can the member please tell us here in this place why the Liberals were so opposed to our very reasonable amendments?
The Honourable Member for Saskatoon West.
Thank you to my colleague for that question. It's the million-dollar question of there's partisanship in this place, and it's alive and well right now today. When we propose something that is good and constructive, it gets rejected. That's the mode of operating of this Liberal government. We want to see this country work. We want to see legislation that affects people in a positive way passed. We want to be helpful. We want to do what we can. And that's why we're proposing amendments that we think are good amendments that everybody can agree with. The problem is the other side, the Liberal side, tends to say, just because it came from us, it's a bad idea, and therefore we're not going to support it. And that happened multiple times on C-12 in the example that I mentioned of barring criminals from claiming asylum. Is a great example of that. And so that is why we need to.
The Honourable Member for Brampton South.
Madam Speaker, I was listening member's speech when he was talking about extortion, and you told we need to fix. This government has a big agenda, legislative agenda, with 6 bills to fix this. So I am asking that member, if you're serious about extortions, why you're stopping C-14, which creates reverse onus bail for violent extortions, require consecutive sentences, and strengthen bail system? Why there's obstruction? Will that member join us to pass this bill?
Honourable Member for Saskatoon West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm actually very excited to hear about all the cooperation from the Liberal side to allow things that we want to do to come through this House. We're excited to propose good amendments. We're excited to work with the government on legislation that works for Canadians, and we will be helpful. We're helping. We're doing our best to get good legislation. We're not going to pass bad legislation. You're not going to trick us into passing something bad, but we are very much there, ready to help good legislation get through this House for Canadians' benefit.